Attention please. This uploading is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with Subtitles GPITRAL. Follow us.
Are you thinking of others now?
No, I think what I'm thinking of is what makes it worse is I'm studying English at university.
Anyway, well, you've done very well. Anyhow, Richard, what else could they have come up with if they'd wanted to stay in the game?
Well, believe it or not, there are actually 30 words in the Oxford English Dictionary that you can make out of the letters of the word purple, and 5 of them were pointless. If we take a look, first one is pulper, which is the only anagram of purple that's there. That's a machine for grinding coffee beans. Puler, obviously,
Yeah.
one who pules. I think to pule is to wine, isn't it? To whinge and wine. And a puler is someone who does that.
Yeah. I say yes, like I've never heard of that.
A pool, or pool,
One who whinges.
pool,
sorry.
is a coin. It's an old coin. There's a couple more. Lure is obviously, as we all know now, look, you can see you're annoyed not getting it. It's the currency of Romania. We all know that. And is a corded fabric. You're exactly right. The worst answers you possibly could have gone for, we've already had a couple. Chris gave us rule, which was the 3rd worst answer. That was the 3rd most popular answer. The 2nd most stated answer was what Ruth gave us, which is lure. And guys, you'll never guess what was the worst answer you could have gone for? Any idea?
Pure.
Pure. That's exactly right. Pure is the worst answer. 59.
Thanks, Richard. OK, Ruth and Pauline, you've wasted one of your chances to get through to the pointless final, so we have to say goodbye to you for today, but we'll see you next time for your last chance. Thank you so much for playing.
Thanks,
Been great.
Thomas.
But for the remaining 2 pairs, things are about to get even more exciting now as we enter the head-to-head. So well done, Chris and Dan, George and Katie. You've made it through to the head-to-head. Now, obviously only one pair can make it through to today's final and play for today's jackpot, which currently stands at £1,250. OK, here's how the head-to-head works. You are now allowed to confer. Each team will take turns to give me an answer, and you'll each have an equal number of turns. The first team that accumulates more than 100 points, or the team that goes over 100 by the most, will lose. So, as always, to stay in the game, you want to score as few points as possible by saying the answers that the fewest of our 100 people gave. OK, Chris and Dan, you performed best over the first 3 rounds, so not only do you get to decide whether or not you go first, you also get to choose the topic. And your choice is between football tournaments or international politics. That's fun, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, that.
Football tournaments.
We both love international politics, don't we? So
Oh, yes.
we'll choose football tournaments, I think, please.
OK. And would you like to go first or second?
First, please.
OK, football tournaments, and you're going to go first. Let's play Pointless. Right, let's find out what the question is. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many FIFA World Cup hosts as they could. Richard.
We are essentially looking for any of the 15 nations that have hosted the FIFA World Cup since it began in 1930. The countries that have hosted the World Cup. And on those occasions where there have been co-hosts, we will accept either of them as individual answers. Best of luck.
Chris and Dan, your first turn. What do you think?
What do you think? First answer, we'll play with Sweden.
Remember, if it's an incorrect answer, you will score the maximum of 100 points. First answer, Sweden. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Sweden. It's the right answer. Oh, it's good. Look at that. 14. That means 14 of our 100 people said Sweden. Your score after the first answer is 14. George and Katie.
We were really dreading this.
We've come up with nothing. I'll go for Luxembourg.
We're going to go for Luxembourg. We're looking for FIFA World Cup hosts. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Luxembourg. Oh! Bad luck. That means it is an incorrect answer, and you score the maximum possible of 100 points. You haven't yet gone over 100. You still get another turn. You just got to hope that Chris and Dan go way over 100 with their next answer. OK, we are looking for FIFA World Cup hosts. You've each had one answer. George and Katie are on 100. Chris and Dan are on 14. Chris and Dan, you need to be careful now. Your next answer could take you over 100 points, and you could risk leaving the game. Your next answer needs to score you 85 or less to avoid going over 100.
Our next answer is going to be Mexico.
OK. There is the red line that you have to come below to avoid getting over 100. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Mexico. You're in the game still. 41. That means that 41 of our 100 people said Mexico, and that takes your total up to 55. Richard.
Yeah, Mexico, of course, hosted the World Cup twice, very famously in 1970, less famously in 1986.
OK. George and Katie, we want a pointless answer from you.
For some reason, I think Japan, but I could be completely wrong, but we're going to go with my gut instinct.
Let's go with your gut instinct. Japan, you are our high scorers on 100. If you score anything over a pointless, you will, of course, have scored over 100. And you will be leaving the game. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Japan. That's correct. Oh! 26 of our 100 people said Japan, and that takes your score up to 126. Well, you've had 2 turns each. And George and Katie, I'm afraid you've gone over 100 points, so I'm afraid that means you are off the show. That wasn't your strongest suit, was it?
No, and we knew these guys knew football well, so we were like, as long as sport doesn't come up, we'll be okay.
Well, such bad luck.
Okay.
It is always the luck of the draw, and they get tougher and tougher, these rounds, as we get nearer the final. Richard, what other answers were there that they could have gone for?
Well, there are no pointless answers, but the 3 most obscure, we've already had one from Chris and Dan, which was Sweden, which was the 1958 World Cup, won by Brazil. Chile was 62, that was also won by Brazil. And Switzerland was, before that, Switzerland was 54, and that was won by Germany.
Yeah, what were the worst answers?
The most popular answers, which of course are the worst answers in this game, in third it was Germany. Everyone knows that. In second most obvious worst answer would have been France, and we can probably guess. George, what do you think was the worst answer?
UK.
England, UK, correct.
Thanks, Richard. George and Katie, this was your second and final chance on the show, I'm afraid. You just didn't have that pointless World Cup knowledge, did you?
Alas, we did not.
Oh, well, never mind. Thank you so much for playing. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you.
But for Chris and Dan, it's now time for our pointless final. Well, congratulations, Chris and Dan. It's only your first time on the show, and you've already made it to the end of Pointless. You've fought off the competition, and you've won our coveted Pointless trophy.
Didn't know that.
Now you've got a chance to win our Pointless jackpot. Today's jackpot stands at £1,250. OK, the rules are very simple. To win the money, all you have to do is find a pointless answer that none of our 100 people could think of. We've had one pointless answer today, which you gave, Chris. All you have to do is find another one. OK, first you've got to choose a category from these 3 options, and you can go for British sporting legends, American actresses, or prize-winning artists. And I've got to tell you, prize-winning artists has now been on the shelf for 5 shows, so this is its last chance. So go the prize-winning artist.
Yeah, I don't think prize-winning artist. I think it's got to be top one, isn't it?
Yeah.
British sporting legends, I think. Fingers crossed.
British sporting legends. OK, well, let's find out what the question is. So, we gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many BBC sports personalities of the year as they could. Richard, Fill us in.
Yeah, we're essentially looking for anyone who's won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year since it started in 1954. Years where there are joint winners, we'll take each of those people as winners.
Well, thanks, Richard. OK, you now have 1 minute to come up with 3 answers. And all you need to win that £1,250 is for just one of those answers to be pointless. OK, your 60 seconds start now.
Right, what do you think? I don't think we can go... We don't know too many early ones, do we?
No,
Did Zara Phillips, like maybe 3 or 4 years ago, she won it, I think.
she has. I think she did win it.
But will people know it because it's new?
Yeah.
Who else we got?
Redgrave.
Older ones. Redgrave, yeah, he's quite big though, isn't he? Who's older? We've got a bit of
About
time.
tennis.
What about someone like, I don't know, one of the women like Virginia Wade or someone
Yeah,
like that? Might have
Gamble
won
and
it.
someone like that.
Yeah, and what about maybe racing drivers? Mansell?
Mansell. Damon Hill. Did he come close?
Damon Hill might have done. He won the World Championship, didn't he? So he might have done like mid-90s. Footballers, Michael Owen, did he win it, I think? Beckham's done it, but
20
everyone will say him.
seconds.
Everyone will say that's too obvious. So we go with the gamble.
What about old school, really old, I don't know, Roger Bannister or something like that. I don't know if he would have won it. It's probably too far.
I'm trying to think boxers as well.
Boxers, Henry Cooper? Try that.
Go that. Virginia Wade.
3,
and Zara
2,
Phillips. And Zara Phillips.
1. And your time is up. Right, give me your 3 answers.
Yeah, we're going for Zara Phillips.
Yep.
Virginia Wade.
Yep.
And we'll try Henry Cooper. It's the 3rd one.
You're going to go with Zara Phillips, Virginia Wade, and Henry Cooper. OK, let's see how many of our 100 people went with your first answer, which is Zara Phillips. This has to be a pointless answer for you to win the jackpot of £1,250, OK?
Yep.
Well, it's correct. This really has to be pointless. That means that 12 of our 100 people said Zara Phillips. So unfortunately, that is not a pointless answer. You now only have 2 more chances to win today's jackpot. Remember, we are looking for BBC Sports Personalities of the Year. This has to be a pointless answer. Let's see how many of our 100 people said your next answer, which was Virginia Wade. If it's an incorrect answer, obviously, you'll only have 1 more chance to win the jackpot. It's correct. This has to be pointless. For £1,250, down it goes. Oh, and it is! How fantastic. Congratulations, you managed to find that all-important pointless answer. That means you go home with a jackpot of £1,250. You weren't even sure that was a real answer.
Oh, mate.
That was very good. I liked the way you're deducing that beforehand. Oh, dear, oh dear. That was touch and go, wasn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think that. I thought that was wrong. It was a complete guess, but good on Virginia Wade. We'll send her a little bit of that. No, we won't. No, we won't.
Yeah. I should think not. So, Richard, what else could they have gone for?
Well, Virginia Wade, very good, of course, won in 1977, the same year she won Wimbledon. There were actually 26 pointless answers there. There's all sorts of different ones. Torvill and Dean, they both won it. Virginia Wade, we've seen. Sterling Moss, the racing driver. Gazza, unbelievably won Sports Personality of the Year.
1990.
Torvill and Dean there. Steve Cram won it. Nobody went for Steve Cram. There's an extraordinary list of names. And Henry Cooper wasn't pointless. So it's very lucky that Virginia Wade was. Henry Cooper got 2 points.
2? Oh, that would have been harsh.
Yeah.
Well done. Well, you got Virginia Wade. That was all you needed, and you win today's jackpot of £1,250. Very well done to you. Goodbye, and thanks for being on the show. It's been great to have you.
It's been brilliant.
So Chris and Dan won today's jackpot. Join us tomorrow when we put more obscure knowledge and forgotten facts to the test on Pointless. It's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.